onda, mi gente? I'm Lisette.
And I'm Candace.
And this is Lifestyle Latina. ¿Qué la que hay, mi gente?
Hola.
¿Cómo están? Thank you so much for coming back for another episode. We're so excited to have you here. And today, it's about to get real good. Let me have Candace tell you why.
So today we want to talk about, well, let's back it up. So
Okay.
I'm at Lisette's house earlier this week. And we get a knock on the door. We're just having, casual dinner.
Yeah.
Get a knock on the door. It was like early after work. Get a knock on the door. And in comes, what was her name?
Berta.
Okay. And I'm like, oh, is this Lisette's tia?
Oh,
Is
come
it
on
her
now.
cousin? Whatever.
Yeah.
Berta comes in and starts cleaning Lisette's house. And
Correct.
I'm like, Lisette, what? What is she doing?
Right.
And Lisette's like, oh, that's my housekeeper. And I'm like, wait, what? Can you explain to me the situation?
I mean, but what is there to explain?
So, Lisette was a housekeeper. And I had a really serious issue with this because I think, and I know I'm going to get a lot of bashing for this.
No, tell us what you think. I'm excited because, girl, you know I'm about to tell you what I think.
I know. I don't know if I really agree. I mean, I don't agree with you.
Okay.
This is so judgmental. I'm sorry, I'm being so judgmental. When I'm married, and when I have a home,
Yes.
and a husband, I believe that it's my responsibility to take care of the home, to keep it clean, to keep the fridge stocked, to keep the dishes washed. I guess you can say that I'm very old-fashioned when it comes to the role of the women in the house and the role of the man. And I know that, it's like, oh, come on, Candace, it's 2015. Like, get with the times. Well, women doesn't have to do that. And I'm not saying that they have to do that, but I think that it's, for me to have another Latina woman come into my house and clean my house, and well, I guess she doesn't cook for you guys. She just cleans.
Yeah. She deep cleans.
Deep cleans.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't agree with that because I think I should be able to do that myself.
Okay, well, when you're a hardworking woman like myself, and I bring home the bacon that I bring home, Candace knows, I, like yourself, and a lot of women out there I know, work full-time, work really long hours, work really hard, make good money to help employ someone else to have a job so that they can make some money, because I know a lot of people don't have the opportunity to go to work for whatever reasons that might be. So Berta, my girl, thanks me every week. Well, she only comes like twice a month, but still, because that's all I can afford. But, she says, hey, you know what, thanks for the opportunity. If you have other people you can refer me to, that's their business. You know what I mean? If it weren't for clientele like myself, Berta might not have a business. And two, I have to say, when you say, as a wife, it's my responsibility to take care of my man, my home, I take care of my man. I take care of him. He knows. But what I have to say is that, I think you know a lot of my opinion about that, and I want to share it with you. Honestly, I think it comes from the idea that I work really hard. I come home, sometimes I'm tired. I make my bed. I, make sure that the fridge is stocked. But every once in a while, the tub gets really, really dirty, or behind the fridge, or behind, the washing machine. So I'm just like, dang, that's going to take up my entire Saturday or Sunday. And that's, I would rather be spending time with him, maybe going out to movie night, or, spending the weekend away. But all of that junk piles up. So then that's when Berta comes in. She comes in and helps me, and she gets compensated for it. Berta's the best. I appreciate her. If you're watching, love you, girl. Ya tú sabes, mamá. Te quiero.
That's cute. That's cute. I think so your stance is more, I'm giving you the opportunity for someone else to employ them.
Yes.
Instead, and not really it's my responsibility to take care of the home.
No, I think I do take care of my home. I mean, at the end of the day, I still have to make sure that it's furnished and that there's food on the table, and that, when Berta's not here or whatever, and she's out of town, that it still looks kept, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she does, again, I make sure that my house is always maintained, but she comes in and ensures that, the deep cleaning gets done. So that way things don't pile up. Because if I work 40, 50, 60-hour work weeks, it does pile up on me. So, but as far as like the laundry and the cooking,
that's all you.
We go out to eat. And I just think it all comes down to like schedule, the
like
modern
always,
woman.
But always though, you guys always. I mean, but you cook.
Yeah, I do. I do cook. I don't like to cook. I hate cooking.
Now,
this is funny.
Does Alan cook for you?
Yeah, he does. He cooks for me at least once a week. Well, he used to, but then he just started his MBA program, so he got a little busy. And that was really interesting. So funny that you bring this up. Just the other day, I was talking to him about this, and I was like, babe, I noticed you haven't been cooking a lot lately. Like, what's up? You know what I mean? Right. I'm telling my husband, that's right, ladies. Calm it down.
Wow.
Let me tell you.
I don't know how that kind of makes me feel like weird.
Yeah, is it hot because of the scarf or because like, this is crazy?
No, because it's just, I mean, the scarf is hot too, but I don't know.
It's shocking?
It is. It's
you don't
really
think your man
shocking.
should cook for you?
No, I would love for him to cook for me one day. And I think that that's great that,
like when you find your husband or whatever.
Yeah, like if he's like, babe, let me cook you dinner tonight. I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
Absolutely.
But I never want him to feel like he has to do that every night. Like it's like I want to feel like I'm providing the meals
ama de
for
casa.
him. Yes.
Como una ama de casa.
Yes.
Yeah, para mí como que esos son los viejos tiempos. You know what I mean? And I think that that's where we're a little different.
Yeah.
Is, I've been married successfully for 6 years. And in those 6 years, I think we've very well established that I am not necessarily the traditional Mexican woman, the traditional Mexican wife, in that I don't cook every day. I don't clean every day. I still iron and things like that for him. And I always ensure, like, if we're going to go on a vacation, he doesn't have to worry about anything. I always ensure that I pack for him. He has everything he needs. So it's really kind of interesting. It's not that I want him to wake up and make me breakfast, make me dinner, but he's got hands, he's got legs. He can get up and he can help me alleviate some of the pressure.
Now, do you feel that, for those of you that don't know, Lizette's husband is Black?
Yeah.
And so it's an interracial marriage. It's an interracial relationship. And so do you feel as though if you would have married a Mexican man, that man would have taken it the same way Alan. Like Alan's like, yeah, I'll cook for you, no big deal.
Sure.
That's not a problem. Do you feel like a Mexican man would have had an issue with that and be like, no, you're the woman, tú me vas a cocinar. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because maybe that factors in.
Yeah.
For people that didn't know that, maybe that, if you were like, but now you're like, oh, well, it's different.
Yeah, because he's American, Well, okay, so a couple things. So it's really interesting. So my husband's family's from the South, so his granny's from Texas. And I remember one of the first things she asked me, so how are you going to take care of my grandson? And I said, well, what do you mean? She's like, are you going to cook? Are you going to clean? And I was like, well, yeah, and he's going to cook and clean for me as well. And I'm in the restaurant industry, so we're going to go out to eat a lot. I know a lot of people in the industry. Mm-hmm. And she was in shock, I mean, obviously through the years,
I can imagine.
Through the years, they've learned to get to know me. I take very, very good care of their son, grandson, brother. But yeah, at first you could tell she was like, oh, hell no. Like, what? And then on the flip side, it's really interesting because, my dad, obviously, I remember growing up, he was a little bit more macho. I remember him coming home from work, and even though him and my mom both worked full time, he would kind of come home and sit down, and then I remember, my mom cleaning and cooking and doing things like that. But now as the time has passed, I'll go home for the weekend, to visit, and he's cooking or he's helping clean. Like if my mom's at church, he's wiping down the counter. Yeah. Things like that. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. My mom, in this where I get emotional, my mom was a housekeeper at Red Lion, and she was tired of cleaning all damn day. Yeah. She wants to sit down, have someone cater to her. Tell me what's wrong.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not going to say anything's wrong with that because growing up, I think I saw my mom kind of take on that role. Yes. Because I come from a very traditional family, and I love that about my family is that they were very traditional. Yeah. But that was kind of the expectations that my mom took care of all of that. Yes. And my dad, would come home and he'd get dinner cooked for him and things like that. And he'd, you know, take care of like mowing the lawn and throwing out the garbage and like the more, the manly things that we like to say are manly, you know, whatever. You know, that's just kind of the house we were raised. But now when I go home, I've been out of the house for about 10 years now, but when I go home, I have noticed that my dad does cook a lot, or my dad does help with things. Yeah. And I love that. I love to see that they're sharing that. But I think it's like, it's a different time.
I think that's what it comes down to.
The kids are out of the house now, so it's just him and my mom. And so I think their relationship has also changed. And it's evolved and it's developed because they're at a new stage in their life. You know, it's not they're not newlyweds. They're not like raising their kids. Now their kids are all out of the home and they're going to be grandparents, and so it's just a different stage for them. So I think that their relationship has evolved a little bit. But coming back to me is, I think when I see myself, you know, because I've always wanted to be married. I've always wanted to have a husband and a family. That's been one of my dreams.
It's true.
And when I think it's kind of like when I finally have that, I'm going to be so grateful to have my husband and a man that loves me and takes care of me, that's kind of my way of taking care of him. It's like, you know what? My man goes to work every day and he's making his money and he's doing his thing and he's grinding for me and for his kids, my family. So how do I show my gratitude? How do I show?
You
I'm
go
working.
to work. You stay faithful. But you love his children.
But
you love him.
But I want to. I don't know. And this is probably my traditional self is. Yeah. I want to, like, I find great joy in doing laundry. Is that weird?
The hell?
Like, I love it. Like I like washing the dishes and I like cooking and I like I want my husband to come home and I want to be like, babe, I made you a pie and I hope you like it.
So are you not gonna go to work, or are you gonna go to work?
I mean, I don't know. Well, I love my
She's
career.
Like, no, so I need a rich man to call me right here, right now.
No, I love working, and I have a master's degree, and I want to use it. Yeah, I want to use all of that knowledge that I gained from that experience, or my experience in college. Right. But I also want to raise my children.
Yeah. That's something that we go back and forth on. So I don't have any babies. We've been married all this time. So I wonder if there's a difference between a wife with children and a wife without. Yes. Because when you're a wife without children, me, for example, and this is my opinion, and this is obviously my experience, I focus on taking care of him, not just from cleaning and cooking, but, like studying together. So he's in his MBA program. I help him write his papers. You know what I mean? So I could be cooking, or I can be helping him do research. You know what I mean? It's a give and take situation. I could be cleaning the toilet, or I could be taking him on a weekend getaway to, congratulate him for getting accepted on a promotion. Yeah. There's just different ways to, show your gratitude rather than just getting down on your hands and knees and scrubbing the floor. Well, you know what I mean?
You know what? I gotta give it to you because you're right. You know what? I'm gonna give you that one because that was real. That was real talk, and I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But do you think that would change if you had children?
I am so glad you asked, because as I was talking, I think it might a little bit. I think it might, in that I would love to show my children that it's important to have work ethic at home and at work. Because I think, you have to have your house clean. And if you kind of raise them by being like, oh, go clean your room, but then Berta comes over, that doesn't make sense. Right. Maybe that would be a little contradicting. Yeah. So maybe, it's so funny now, because now I'm starting to agree with you. Maybe when I have children, I want to show them that if mommy can do it, I can do it, and I want to continue with that pattern. I think it's what makes sense in your household, what makes sense with you and your spouse. But I have to say, if you're going to be in a relationship, there has to be a mutual understanding. I did not go into my marriage pretending that I was a cook and a cleaner and that I strived to iron his underwear. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? My goal is to planchar tus calzones. He knew coming into the relationship with me that I liked to do things a little bit differently, that I wasn't going to cook 7 days a week, but I don't mind cooking for you every once in a while. Or, planning a fun date night maybe instead of.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
doing the laundry.
Mm.
So there has to be that really mutual understanding. You know, so but you guys have to tell us. You know, it's again. I think this is probably one of the best part. We've loved your comments, by the way. Oh my God, thank you so much for tuning in, but also for sharing your feedback. I would love to know. Okay, because this was a little bit of a battle. I think we ended up kind of seeing each other, like always. That's why we're girls. But I mean, who do you side with? I know.
It's kind of like weird to say. It's not a competition, but whose view can you relate to more? Yeah. Do you see yourself as more of the traditional way, which is more me, or are you more of a modern woman?
Yeah, a little bit more non-traditional. I mean, we'll still take care of her man in the home duties. If I roll my eyes in the home duties. But or if maybe you like to take breaks and you like to help keep your marriage stable in different aspects, different ways. Yeah. Tell us. Oh my God, this will be so much fun to hear.
So thanks for your support, everyone. We will see you next week. Don't miss out.
That's right.